Welcome back, guys. It's Winter Breeze, giving you guys a tutorial for how to do the Easter egg on the new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. To start out, you're going to need to head down to the Pack-a-Punch room and turn on the power. As soon as you're able to do that, go to each of the terminals on both sides of the room and go ahead and flip those on. After you've got both of those flipped on, you're going to be waiting for the very first Aether portal to spawn in. It only takes a second. It's going to be right here in the middle of the room. Once you're in the Aether, you're going to run up these stairs and find the star icon. That's going to take you into the first portal. You're going to need 500 points to go through this portal. Once down the portal, it will take you to the very first part for the Pack-a-Punch machine. All you have to do once you've collected the part is run back to the machine and insert it. While you're running to this, if you are lucky enough, like I was, to have it spawn in the airplane area, you'll actually be able to grab the first part for the fire upgrade for the Wonder Weapon. And that's in that box right there. As we go down this portal, we're just going to wait and look around once we get into the room. There's the first part, picking it up, grabbing it, taking it back all the way over to the middle of the Pack-a-Punch room. There we go. That is the first step out of the way. Now for our next step, we're going to need to grab 3 parts to put together the scanner. These 3 parts will spawn in the same place every time, but it's going to be in a random order. They do not all spawn at the same time, so you'll have to check all 3 spots, and if you're playing with someone else, have other people standing in each of these areas to get the job done a little bit quicker. So the first area that you spawn into is one place where a part will spawn in. Up here in the plane area is where another part will spawn in. Unfortunately, I was not lucky at all with this one. I had to go all the way back down to the Pack-a-Punch room where the third part will spawn in. In my case, it was the first. So one of the parts will spawn in right here. And it is the same part for each of the locations, so it might be easier to call them out by using part names. But for me, it's usually easier for me to communicate with the rooms that they spawn into. Now that we've gathered the first part, there are some dogs chasing after us. Dogs will spawn after each of these, so be prepared to fight quite a bit of them. We've grabbed the second part. Now we're going to run all the way back over to the starting room, where it will spawn right under the stairs. Once you've gathered all 3 of these parts, you're going to make your way back down to the Pack-a-Punch room, where there is a bench that you can craft the scanner on. I highly recommend you bring an explosive of some sort. I do suggest the Semtexes. They worked really well for me here. But taking care of the dogs on the way back down the stairs is much easier with an explosive. And then you can just finish the rest of them off with your gun. Now that the coast is clear, we're going to be crafting it right down here on this bench. It does take a moment to build. Okay, so now make your way to the medical bay, where we will be able to initiate all of the steps with the diary. This involves collecting the diary and speaking to 3 of the ghosts. As you see right here, the diary is right next to the computer, and the first ghost will be right below. You can get all of these in one run It's pretty easy to do, so don't worry about stressing out too much about getting it all done. It does help to have someone else standing right where the next ghost will be, and you won't have to wait for one ghost to finish before you can start the next. But if you're doing this by yourself again, you'll be able to do all of them in order very easily. So the first one, medical bay, the second one will be in the trials room, as you can see, and the third one will spawn back down by the crafting bench. So we're going to make our way back there now and initiate that. During all of these, you can just stand around. The zombies will not bother you. And again, if you have multiple people doing it, you can all be doing it at the same time. Alright, now that we have got all three of the ghosts, we will be able to return to the medical bay, go onto the computer, and finally log in. Once we've typed in that password, we will begin to set up for getting the wonder weapon. Getting the wonder weapon is a fairly simple process. We are only waiting for the very first big zombie to spawn in. Once you're able to get a big zombie to spawn in, do not kill any of the regular zombies for that round. I highly recommend you save them, because getting the wonder weapon is a lot easier with getting a huge swarm of zombies to just go through the vacuum machine at the very beginning, at the very first try. So instead of killing zombies, we're going to save them, train them, and focus on the big guy. Before you kill him, it's highly advisable that you let him throw an orb at the tree, so that way you can go ahead and get the first step done for the ice upgrade. This will save us a lot of rounds instead of having to wait around for another big guy to spawn in later on. So now that we have the tree taken care of, we can proceed to take him down. Upon destroying his first form, you'll notice that he does split into two other ones. These are both equally as frustrating to deal with, so if you're training in an area, just let someone else know that you're about to split it. That way everyone is on the same page and they know to look out for two of them instead of just one of them, because you can get one shot by them. Anyway, now that we've got the card, we're going to take it down here to the weapons lab. We're going to receive the remote control from that box there. Take it up to the first room that we spawned into, and right next to it, this door here, you can insert the remote control into this part. As long as you have a train of zombies following behind you, it will suck them all up, and you should be able to get it done as long as you saved the horde from that same round the first big guy spawns in. Once you've completed this step, we'll be able to open that room and retrieve the first free wonder weapon. All you have to do is go back over to that crack in the wall, and boom. Now, once we go inside, our free wonder weapon will be waiting for us. We can now start working on the upgrades for it. The upgrades are pretty simple. We're going to start with the fire upgrade. As you remember before, the first part for it is hidden underneath the plane that will float whenever you go into the Aether mode. You can shoot the box, you can knife the box, whatever you need to do to open it, and then retrieve that part. Once you have the fuse, we're going to take it back into the weapons lab, downstairs in the lower section, and as long as you're in the Aether mode, you'll notice that there is now a laser cutter there. We're going to place that right there, and it's going to cut open the box, which will allow us to retrieve the fire upgrade. Coming back up to the swamps, sitting on the back of this truck is where that box containing the fire upgrade will be. As we progress through the different parts for the weapon, it's advisable that you go back and charge up this machine. You can charge it up by hitting each of the corresponding legs of the pod with the different element of the weapon. Next, we will begin with the lightning upgrade. The lightning upgrade is very particular because you have to go back and forth frequently, so I highly recommend you use the portals. If you use the portal in the Pack-a-Punch room, it will take you up to the first floor of that starting building. If you follow that upstairs into the far room, you will see through this crack there's a crystal up there. Go ahead and get that crystal absorbed. Take it back downstairs, take the portal back down to the Pack-a-Punch room, and then deposit it into the box. Once you've deposited the crystal, you're going to take the portal back up to the first room, go all the way back up to where the Juggernaut is in the airplane section, and there will be a crystal right to the left of that Juggernaut. Once you've absorbed that, we're going to take the nearest portal back down and deposit it into the box. A trick for depositing these into the box that I highly recommend is standing all the way up against it and making sure that you're looking directly down at it for just a moment before you discharge it, because it has glitched for myself and my friends where it just won't charge it the first time you shoot it. It doesn't always do it, and it didn't do it, as you can see here, while I was making sure that I was careful about it. Once we come all the way back up, we're going to get to that third and final crystal in the swamps. It does not matter whether or not you are still in the Aether when you've collected it, you will have it in your gun. So just make sure you get to it in the Aether, absorb it, and then from there on, you will still have it in your gun, as you can see here. Taking it back down and depositing it into the box, we will have finally unlocked the lightning upgrade for our wonder weapon. The lightning upgrade corresponds to this leg of the pod. Now that we have unlocked those two weapon upgrades, as you can see here, we have the big guy who is initiating that tree fungus to glow. Now that the tree fungus is prepared, we will be able to collect the flask by going to the third floor, hitting this box that's right above the ramp. Once that falls down, we're going to go back down to it, collect the flask, and place it underneath this fungus. You're going to need to let it sit there for a little bit. It's not timed by rounds, but by real time, so you can walk away and even in the same round come back. Once you have the flask, take it back into the medical bay, deposit it onto the box, and you can now collect the ice upgrade. Now that you have the ice upgrade, you can charge up the next leg of the pod. Alright, the fourth and final upgrade that we will be looking at here is the poison upgrade. You need to collect this canister. We are going to take it back down to the weapons lab, where we will place it into a chamber alongside the wall right here. And this requires us to bring one of the dogs to that location, and we will have to kill it standing right next to the container. The dog, for me, should be the hardest one, as long as you follow the rest of these steps and take precautions to get the other ones done early. This is where the poison gas upgrade is located, up in plane. All you have to do is place the canister on there and melee it. From there, you can just collect it, and it will correspond with this leg of the pod. From here, we are going to go ahead and start up the next Aether. This Aether will show us these two Russians that are stealing a golden ball of some sort. This is just as the other ghost interactions, where all of the zombies will be pretty docile and ignore you during, so you are fine for that. Once that is completed, you're going to want to go back to where they were talking and look on the ground to collect the Aether Wrench. Now take the Aether Wrench back up to the starting area and hit the tank in these 3 locations with it. Once you've interacted with the tank, you can kill the zombie and throw an explosive of any kind on top of the tank. If you've done this correctly, it will launch the ball out of the tank and over into the plane area. The ball is always going to be sitting in the same location over here on the ground. Once you get close to the ball, there will be a lot of these dogs that spawn in, along with 1 or 2 of these heavy zombies. Once you've fought off the zombies and are prepared to continue on, just take the ball all the way back down to the medical bay and place it into the box on the wall. I recommend that you take a couple of rounds or a little bit of time to get more ammo, make sure you've got the perks you want, because you are now nearing the final stages of the Easter egg. For this step, you're going to need to split one of the big zombies, lure them underneath the pod, and once they are both sucked up into the pod, you can go to the computer to start this cutscene. Once the scene is over, you're going to want to get out of there as quickly as you can and return to your favorite training spot.
It was a noble effort, though. This isn't over. Get after it now.
As always, there will be plenty of dogs, so just get used to killing the dogs. Now that we have completed that step, you can immediately after start the next Aether, as long as you have everything that you are prepared to bring into the boss fight with you. The final ghost can be located in the far back right corner of the lower level that opens up once you start the power. He's going to give you a monologue. Take this photo that he is holding to actually initiate the boss fight. Once the boss fight has started, you will have to be prepared with monkey bombs, any kind of explosive that you'd prefer. I recommend Semtex. And the wonder weapon. I also would recommend the lightning upgrade. He's going to give you another speech. I recommend you train on the top level, especially if you're doing this solo. If you are doing this with your buddies, you guys can all coordinate where you'd like to train, keep everything separated, don't run into each other and step on each other's toes in the training process. It says to protect the big guy, but you don't have to worry about that too much. Just keep the zombies off of him every once in a while. It's not really going to hurt him, but it is going to slow down the process quite a lot if you just let them build up and stay on him. So I recommend just every other loop around, at least, going and checking on him, getting the zombies cleared away. With the upgrades, it is very easy to take down any of the zombies using the lightning wonder weapon. As long as you are killing the big guys, it will drop plenty of ammo for you. The big guy will only spawn in 3 times, so once you've gotten him through the middle starting section, the top left section looking at it from the power, and the bottom left section also from the power, then you will have completed the first part of the boss fight. The second part is not so much about a boss fight, but more or less just getting out of there. Every time that I have extracted, I've gone through the medical bay, and I have gone along the right side, jumping over the gap. Do be careful. If you jump over the gap while there are zombies below, you can get caught on the zombies. If you fall down, just climb up the middle section at the end of the stairs there, and you will be able to still get out of there. If you're playing with your friends, only one of you has to extract to win it for everybody. So don't worry about it too much. I always go to the right. Usually I find that the left is cleared up with a lot of lightning, so you don't want to go that way and get yourself clogged up. Now the only objective you have is to stay in the swamp area until the helicopter comes down and jump on it as quickly as you can. Again, only one of you has to be there to jump on the helicopter to win it for everyone. So if anyone's going down in this phase, don't worry about it. As long as you guys trust the one person that's still alive, it's totally fine. Anyway, good luck you guys, and thank you for watching.